Okay, morning. I just filled up. So, I'm just going to move this to a slightly better spot, but and then I'll tell you what I'm off to today. Not the old-fashioned thing to do that. It's quite cool. Right, let's just borrow the cigar lighter out of there. Stick it in my pocket. Because it's about 0 degrees today. And I'm going to go with a heated jacket for this next leg, because this is basically all motorway now. So, whoops, we had to plug in here, and there we go. Just get the excess cable back in my pocket. And zip it down. There we go. Right, we just stop over here for 2 seconds, hey, and show you what I'm up to. So, today, just a quick look. This seat, as you can see, is pretty buggered. So we're going to go and try and get this seat covered as close to the same, because this is also going to look a bit odd if it's all different colours. So we're going to see what we can do, but the back is actually alright. It's got a little tear there, but that's where I'm off to. And I think I said heated jacket. I don't need it at the moment. But I got it if we need it, because actually I'm actually slightly too warm, believe it or not. It's zero, pretty much zero out here. Chance of snow, they say, but I don't give a shit. The main thing is it's dry. That's all you really care about. That's all I really care about on bikes, is that it's dry. So, gonna hit the motorway. This is basically motorway the whole way, which is why I'm in the full gear, heated waistcoat underneath this big old jacket. I don't think I'm going to need it, but we'll see how we go. I've also got the British Army cold weather trousers on, which are just a extra zippy thing you can put over the top of your regular trousers, and they just give you a little bit of extra warmth. So this is about as warm as I can dress. I don't own any better gear than this, and we'll just see how cold it is. Well, yeah, this old girl does keep the wind off you pretty well. There we go. And I just about know this journey, except for the last bit where I don't know where I'm going. But anyway, let's get to the A20 first, and then see. This girl's been sleeping for the last couple of months while I've been repairing various bodges in the back end of the frame and the rack and everything. So it's actually still missing 2 bolts, which I need to come up with a solution, because it turns out they sent me the wrong rack from the US, which I'm not really going to return, and it was cheap anyway, and yada yada yada. But I think I have to come up with one more way of fixing 2 of the bolts. I had a couple of ideas, but nothing's worked so far. Anyway, there we go. I'm rambling, so I'll shut up for a bit. Let's get on the motorway and get this done. It's rare that I wear a full face helmet on a bike. Well, this bike anyway, or the other Harley. But like I say, it's pretty chilly today, so not much would have got me out in an open lid today. I always feel a bit of a plum on a touring Harley or any sort of Harley with a full face lid on, but you know, what can you do? And that's 5th. We get on the motorway. Whee! Let's just put the cruise on in case I want it, which I probably will. We just sit back and get this done. Alright, I'll speak to you later. Well, here we go. Usual congested shit bit of motorway. And just gonna get past this coach. I'm actually on cruise control, which is why I can take my hand off, which is really nice. Get a bit less tired and your hands get a bit less cold. Anyway, this thing pulls pretty strong. It's going to have the usual bit of service stuff before I really start using it next year. Do the 3-hole oil change, as they call it, and I'm quite tempted with the mileage that's on it, 50,000, and judging by the state of the rest of it, it's probably not had a lot of love in its life. I'm quite tempted to do a belt and both pulleys, and if I'm going to do a front pulley, I might as well do a clutch. But that is kind of expensive to do, so I think before I do that I shall strip everything off and have a really good look at the belt, and if you see if it looks like it's got any nicks in it or loose teeth or, you know, etc, etc. Check the tension. What the fuck is this thing doing? And we'll kind of take it from there, but yeah, you're a bit of an idiot. Well, there we go. You got a Hyundai Getz, so I guess we got to forgive you a little bit. It's not nice to live in a world where you have to drive a Hyundai Getz, a Hyundai, as the Americans call them anyway. Yeah, so we'll see how much I get into this bike. The rocker covers are all corroded, so they're going to need to be changed. I mean, they're doing their job, so it's not desperate to do it, but it does spoil the look a little bit. I need to get rid of these bolts through the front fender where the used to have a little rack thing on there, which again the previous owner junked it and just filled the holes with sort of skull bolts. But it's a mess really, so I'm going to try and find one of those and put it back to how it should be. There's a few other bits of powder coat black on this that I'd like to change. Like around the headlight and stuff just doesn't work to me. It ought to be chrome. You've either got to do the whole shell or not, you know, the trim, you know, not just the trim piece. Just doing the trim piece on its own just looks shit. So anyway, still a lot of work to do before I point this thing at Europe, but first stage today, get the seat done, and hopefully my arse won't get wet every time I ride it, because it won't be soaking up the water like a sponge. We'll see what Lee can do, work his magic. I'm not having the backrest and the speaker bit done, so in some ways I need to get a little bit of a slightly matte look to the black, that it doesn't look like it's been freshly done, because otherwise the two are not going to match, and it's not going to look very nice. So anyway, here we are, cruising along. We just a whisker under 70, bouncing along. Oh, I need a bit more air in these air shocks as well. Anyway, I'll speak to you later. Here we go, bit more motorway to go. Right, I don't know how much noise this thing is picking up. Oh, the only bike I've seen all day. It's probably worth mentioning I have a slight hangover, and brings me on to my next topic, the bloody exhausts on this thing. My other bike, the Dyna, is very, very loud, and I love it because it's a chopper, you know, it's a custom bike. Well, almost. It's fairly stock, really, if you look at it, but anyway, if you squint, it's a custom bike, and I love it. I love the noise. It's great, and you know what you're in for when you ride it. This thing, in my opinion, is too loud to be a touring bike. I did quite a long trip back from Worcester on this thing in the summer when I bought it on an open face helmet, and by the end of it I was fed up with the noise. It's great for about an hour, a couple of hours is alright. After that you get a bit fed up and you just want it to be a bit quieter. So it's a kind of a shame not to have the noise. I would still like a bit of a rumble, but I don't really want this level of noise constantly when I'm going to be doing 5, 6, 7, 8 hours on the bike, because it's just numbing and you just get fed up with it. So I've got the part numbers for these exhausts, what should be on this bike, the stock ones. If I can find them cheap, then I shall get the stock ones back on it for now. If I figure out that I'm going to keep this thing for a good length of time, then I might get a Super Trap on it, because I've always wanted one of those. And you can tune them, you know, you can put the discs in the end and make them as loud or as quiet as you want, really. So we'll have to see what happens, but I think before I go a long way on this thing, I'm going to have to just quieten it down a little bit. So I'm sure people are not going to like that, but anyway, it's just too much for hours on end. Anyway, I'm on the M26 now, looking for the junction to go off to the A20 to find the seat guy. So I don't think it's far, actually. Anyway, there we go, stuck behind a truck. That's just the way it is. Oh well, I'll turn back on again when I'm arriving at Viking. There we go. Well, it's gone all country lanes on me now. So we just have to see. Hopefully, I mean, he's just down here basically on a little industrial place. Oh shit. Yep, these brakes are not terribly brilliant, but anyway, yeah, he's down here on a little industrial estate somewhere, and I guess, well, hopefully he won't be too hard to miss. Anyway, it's quite pretty around here, actually. I don't know Kent very well. Not for years. I mean, I used to do the Kent Custom Show and all of that kind of stuff years ago, and it was the only time I ever headed out this way. This is London Kent, if you know what I mean. We're not even kind of terribly far out, but it's pretty, and it's quite nice to get out of the smoke a bit. this guy's doing. Stopping completely. Brilliant. Not really any need to do that. There we go. Ash Manor. Well, mansion or something is interesting. Come on, lady, you don't need to be that careful. It's not that narrow. Oh well, chill out. We haven't got to go far. It did look like a long way on this road, actually, and it seems to be. I only turned the camera on because I thought I was just about arriving. I'm very torn about this bike because when you're doing these sorts of roads at these sorts of speeds, then the amount of noise that you got is really lovely. It's just nice. But oh dear, when you're doing long trip on a motorway, it gets on your nerves. So I don't know if there's an answer to that, really. Well, I'm in Ash, so hopefully a little bit of shit on the road. Hopefully he's not too far away. We are pretty near Brands Hatch, actually, and I think I'm probably going to go to Bluewater and have some lunch afterwards. There's not a million miles away from that either. Pub that did survive. New Ash Green, something. Nice pub. I might have to stop and look at the sat nav again in a minute because I seem to be going a bloody long way. Having said that, I guess this could be it, or it might not be. There's nothing on here that says anything about tyres. Who knows? Well, that was seriously unpleasant. But it's done, and it looks rather good. But my God, that was a horrible ride. Wet, freezing rain. I couldn't see a bloody thing. Oh well, job done.